Okay. Ali and Andrew, Anna, Kari, Carlos, Chandata, George, Glenn, James, Jenny, Jerome, Joel, welcome, Joshua, Kai, Karen, Keith, Ken, Kevin, Kimchi, Leonard. Wow, welcome everyone. Majid, Mark, Michael, Patrick, Sando, Stefan, Suman, Tim, Ikram, Vaughn, Zain. Welcome all. Thank you for joining. I hope you can all see my screen. We're going to start in a few minutes. Great. Okay, guys. So it's 6 EST time. Thank you very much for joining and welcome. So today we're going to have a more hands-on session and try to address some more practical issues that you may have. So today the agenda would be to understand practicalities of using the system. For example, understanding page indexing, technical pages, optimization strategies, page coverage across all your website, keyword optimization coverage, how they're actually covered across the entire website, meta tag setting and configurations, and finally a Q&A session. So we're going to go and cover that. Okay. So what are our objectives when we try to use the system and create tags? First of all, we want to create tags that are unique to each web page. You often see a lot of repetitive tags that are generated automatically without any intelligence, without any understanding of the web page content. So we want to avoid this repetitiveness of non-intelligent tags, the way we call it. Secondly, we want to make the tag highly relevant to the web page content. There are a lot of reasons for that. Part of it is the acceptance of search engines. The higher the relevancy of the tags to the page content, the higher the acceptance and the higher the probability of ranking for those keywords that are present in those tags. Which brings us to the effectiveness of the boosting. The more keywords that are natural search terms that appear in the tags and that are accepted by the search engine, this is how the search results is boosted. Conversion rate increases and bounce rate reduces. So this is our objective. Today we're going to focus, as we said, not on adding a website, but setting and configurations. So we're going to put more attention on that. And basically what we will do now, Dima will explain to us how to understand.
Okay, I will share a screen.
Yes, you can share. You can share it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sharing correctly. So I go to the page manage. And by default, we display not all the pages from your website, but only optimized and canonical ones. And you can open the filter by filter icon. Here you can immediately see what are the default settings. So we display canonical, optimized. You can uncheck optimize to see all the pages. Check non-optimized to see what opportunities might be you have missed, because these pages are served to users because they are canonical ones. Canonicals means they are like main pages on your website, and canonicalized are like the same, but they are also real pages on your website. They're available in the internet, but they are like duplicates of the main pages. So this is real pages, but they are not non-optimized, and this is because we don't want to optimize them. So these pages are not important for us, but for you it could be important pages, and you will need to enable them for optimization like this. Okay, let's review other pages, like these ones. These are different categories of issues pages. Some of them are errors, redirects, or non-canonical. And all of them are not optimized by default, but you can review them here. So some pages are redirects, and it's specified by the icon. Some pages are errors. And it all means that you need to pay attention to this and try to fix in your CMS system, whatever you use, because it's also important for SEO. What we optimize is the pages that served to real users, that served to Google. We are not focusing on these keyword on these pages. We are focusing on the canonical and optimized. So just keep in mind that we are not displaying all the pages by default, only canonical optimized. Okay. That's all.
Yes, thank you very much, Dima. Vlad, go ahead. Vlad will explain to us how to understand page coverage across your website, and so that you understand which pages are being optimized and not being optimized and how to assess that. Go ahead. I'm going to make you presenter. Oops. Oh my God, Vlad. I pressed too quickly. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay,
yes,
what I want to show you, it's on the pages manage, we can see the list of our all pages that we will optimize it by default. And the main parameter I want to show you, it's a score. So this score means content relevance and how many keywords are associated with your pages, and how many pages it show us a promotion potential for these pages. And we can, for example, we can sort by this parameter and see how many pages are good for promotion, and in opposite, we can sort it and see how many pages have a low score. And this means that we need to look at these pages and maybe decide some of these pages maybe need to update the content according to our list of keywords, or maybe just add additional keywords according to some specific pages, and these keywords specifically for these pages. And we can orientation by this, only by this score. And the another one I need to show you in the pages manage section. We have this graph that show us in general everything about the same score. It shows us a general coverage according all of your sites, how many keywords you have with a good promotion potential and with a good content relevancy. And also we need to try to achieve the more green sections, and this will be better for system to understand how to optimize your meta tags. And also I need to say that our system can work without these keywords, without keywords in the system, but of course it's better to have the enough keywords to understand your content. And the next what I need to show you, it's we have ability to sort also by this filter. We just need to open the filters, open the page score filter, and for example we can sort only by green section, and we can see how many pages we have with with this good score, and how many pages are good for promotion, they have a good promotion potential. And also we have ability to sort by the red section, for example, and see how many pages we have for reviewing, and maybe we need to update some content, maybe we need to add more additional keywords. And also we have used this information to choose, maybe we don't need to optimize some of pages. So for example, these two we don't want to optimize, maybe these pages not have enough content, not content anymore, or maybe some pages not have a low content, and we can disable these pages by clicking on this icon for any of them. Or for example, we can select many and just by this bulk action, optimize all of them. And in general, by this way, we can manage our page optimizations.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Vlad. What we're going to do now is go into the keywords part, and I'm going to project now. So I hope you can see my screen now. There were a few questions that were asked during the first part. I'd like to address them generally, although they're not necessarily in the right order of logic. So the first question that was asked is there some kind of rule of thumb number of keywords to a page? So if you go to the keyword manage part, yes, we can see a list of all the keywords actually being listed on the website. If we go into the keyword manage part, we can see keyword coverage and how many keywords are their score related to the pages. So this is just as a high level piece of information. Going back to the question of what's the optimal number of keywords that you want to have on your website, it really ranges, but it ranges from about 10% to 30%. So what do I mean by that? So a website with, let's say, 100 pages, real canonical pages, can effectively be optimized with 10 to 30 keywords. Having said that, our system is able to optimize websites without any keywords at all by taking parameters from the web page itself, although it is less effective. And we can discuss this effectiveness in a minute. There was another question whether in the age of ChatGPT, SEO is still relevant. It's a very big topic, but I will just discuss the part that relates to us in terms of meta tags. So our system currently focuses on optimizing meta tags. Meta tags is very specific elements that are embedded in the code. I think that they are not considered to be content generation, so we're not a generative AI generator of content. And all the AI ChatGPT hype is usually surrounding content generation, articles, posts. However, our system do use AI as part of the tags, and Dima will cover this a little bit later on. What I'd like to show you now is some strategies to understand how to use the keywords and how to determine the keywords and how to track the keywords and so on. So when you go into the keyword manage section, you see a list of all your keywords going down. I like to go to the maximum, which gives me a very high level view of the keywords. So up to 300 you can get in one view, and then you can just scroll more. The score that you see here on the right part is our unique score. It's an integrative score of many, many parameters and computations. It takes into account content relevancy. It takes into account ranking. It takes into account search engine indicators. And eventually we present to you a score. All you need to do is just look at the score, green or can be less attractive. And based on that, you can make decisions. So this is the first thing you should know. The second thing you should be aware of is that our system generates all the time when it processes. And for example, you can see all your keywords, how they're ranking, all the ones that went up or down. And you can decide how much you want them to go up. So we'll just take a look at all the keywords from the minute they were in the system, and we can just to see how they're performing. And then we can just track them. We can input a specific word, for example, automated SEO. And then we can decide that we want to see ranking for a cluster. One of the nice things about our system is that it enables you to see a cluster performance, like topic performance. And the more pages you have on a website, it is recommended to look at the topic, because search engines do the same. They don't look just at one keyword and trying to rank for one keyword. They look at your authority. And this is why your authority for a certain topic is very important. So let's talk about this. By the way, this what you see here as this volatility is very common in search engines. Keywords just change their positions all the time. And part of our abilities, because we do real-time monitoring of the search engines, we are able to implement corrective measures to try to recover the positions of keywords. But here you can see the trend of how this cluster of keywords around this best automated or automated SEO is performing. And you can do the same for any keywords that you have in the system, any topic that you have in the system for any category. It's very useful to see this flow. You can look at your different search engines depending on whether you have them or not. And this is the technique that we recommend to monitor performance, and not necessarily just one keyword. So always choose a cluster. Yes, the second thing that we do is the user search intent. For each one of those keywords, we generate a user search intent, which is then also integrated into the tags. And the gentleman who asked about ChatGPT, this is the answer to you. We also integrate this type of technology to anticipate the user's request or the user intent into the tags. So let's just take a look at a more detailed view of the keywords. So we can go into one specific keyword. And this is a very interesting view here, because it allows you to see not only the ranking for each one of those search engines, it allows you to see how many pages are actually using this keyword. And this is selected automatically. It allows you to see the relevance that search engines assign to this keyword. So search engine assigned this keyword to this page, meaning they're saying it's relevant to this page. And we take this information into our factoring of data, likewise to the others. So this data, the Google relevance or the G relevance, basically is a scale from 1 to 99. 1 is the best, 99 is the worst in this scale, and 0 is none, which is not good. So if you see a 0 next to a page, it means Google does not associate this keyword with this page. However, it doesn't mean that we should not try to promote this, because this is how we actually change the situation by giving Google more reasons to use these when we use them in the tags. So this is just a high-level overview of how we treat the keywords. One of the things that we should always be aware of is whether we have enough keywords in the system that are relevant for promotion. We have a tool here that is enabling you to add a bulk of keywords from any keyword research tool, your favorite one, or Google's keyword planner. And once you add them in pre-evaluating mode, then they're being analyzed, but they're not being utilized in your planned capacity until you decide that you want to add them. The second thing that would be useful for you as users is to know whether a keyword is being used or not being used. So obviously the ones with green score are being used, while those that have a lower score most probably are not being used. And so these are keywords that may be relevant, or you may want to promote them, but you have no content support. So trying to rank them without enhancing your content is A, not advisable, and B, not so much possible. The reason being is that we will not put keywords that do not have keyword relevancy to the page content into the tags. So in order, for example, if this particular keyword is relevant, for example, to us, we will need to go find which pages it might be suitable for, and we would need to enhance the page content. And you can see that we're not associated with this term at all anywhere. So we would need to create more related content for this. And likewise, we can go for not perfect, but better This one, for example, SEO my website. By the way, it's a very high volume keyword. This is why it's here, but still we have no content support for this. The closest we have one is this one. We can log into this page later on and we can create enhanced content for this keyword. So if I'll copy it, I'll just go here. I will edit this text to include that keyword more. So it's not about generating ChatGPT type content. It's just enhancing your page with a few words related to that one. You can add it in the H1, you can add it in the H2, you can add it somewhere in the text, and suddenly your page suitability and relevancy will increase dramatically. By the way, the recommended, according to our experience, the recommended structure for an efficient SEO page is to have the keyword that you're targeting in the URL, in the H1, at least in one H2, and then at least several times in the web page content itself, and then to have another cluster of keywords around that relate to the topic. So if we would go and look at SEO automation, for example, if we want to target this, then we'll go and say, show me these keywords. Let's choose this one as the primary and these three as secondary ones, and we will use this one to focus the document, and we will use these ones as part of the document information in the headers and so on. So this is just as useful information for you. So before we were talking about the keyword score, and part of your plan limits is not to overload your plan. So one of the things we would recommend doing, for example, is to go here and to say, show me all the keywords with a low score, for example, like this. And it identified 5. And you can then decide that you want to remove them from the system if you don't want to really focus on them that much, and you just remove them from the system. So you can clear more capacity and more space for your plan. So this is a good technique. And this allows you to keep and add more relevant keywords to your plan and take out the ones that are not relevant. You can also just disable them by moving them into a non-active mode and keep them in the system, but they will not be monitored or used. So I didn't see if there's any questions during my talk. How often is the default best practice? I will be creating here. Yes, they're asking about checkup. We'll address that in a minute. Yes, how are the meta tags connected to the system? Okay. Yes, you wanted to say something? Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. People asking about the checkpoints, like because I think all of new users will not see such an amount of checkpoints in the charts.
Yes, of course, yes. So each time you run a processing, you get data points. We recommend to run it at least once a month. You can run it more times if you run a specific function. So, for example, if you generated and you change the generation rules of the tags, you can just request to regenerate the tags. If you just want a SERP update, you just run the SERP update. If you added pages or added content, it's recommended to run this one. So it just gives you more flexibility of how to run. And whenever you have a run, for example, then you get a data point for SERP ranking and other parameters. Yes, so you can see the volatility, but it picked up. Okay, so I think that, was there another question that I missed? We're going to talk about the default settings in a minute. Dima will cover that. Yes, yes, 1 minute. Yes, another parameter that we are collecting and is an integral part of what we do is we check the snippet acceptance. So each one of these keywords will eventually be integrated into tags and search snippet views. And we can give you an example of the number of times it was accepted, which is very good. meaning that we were effective in taking this keyword and getting it to rank high. We talked about the Google relevance, so this is important. What I'd like to show you also is the pages themselves. So you see this is relevance number 1. Just going to go to this page. And yes, so these are the tags we generated, beautiful tags with the keyword at the beginning, the business name, and the secondary keyword. Very effective. The third keyword is being placed in the description. And here you can see all the keywords that are being associated by Google. So whenever we run a scan, we actually run the entire set of keywords on the entire set of pages and get thousands of data points, sometimes millions of data points per website. And then we're able to calculate everything and to score everything and to show you the relevancy of each one of those keywords to the page content. And if we go to the metadata section, so here, this is a admin panel now. It's still not visible to everyone, but it will be visible soon. And you can see each time there was a crawl, which keyword was measured, what did the snippet title actually present to users, and what was the description that was presented to users, and whether this keyword actually appeared in those. And you can see the relevance here. So it's a very powerful analysis with actual relevancy to the real life. So keyword is appearing in search snippet view, is being accepted, is being ranked. So the minute the rank of a keyword goes up, it means that Google decided that this keyword was effective and it started to give it more power. Let's see if there were any other keywords that I missed before we move to the next section, which is showing how to configure the pages. Am I missing anything? Okay, we'll review this once again. So what we'll do now, Dima will show us how to configure.
Yes, 1 minute.
How do you reach that target of generating those tags?
I think I already showed these rules correctly. I didn't remember.
No,
actually not.
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we have settings to generate a meta tags, and you can navigate these settings by clicking on the website role, and here this button. Also, you can find it under the menu of automation setting and on pages metadata, which is the main screen where we usually overview your meta tags. And here is the settings in the top right corner. And we usually use the static mode, and here is the like a template by which meta tags are constructed. Under the hood, there is a lot of computation, especially on distributing these keywords and in selecting which elements to use and which not to use based on repetition and length best practices from Google. So current rules says, for example, this is the primary rule for title, for constructing the title. And it says, try to use the best suitable keyword for the page, then header 1 if exists, then business name, and everything according to the repetition of the length. Just as a reminder, yes. And there is a lot of different elements you can use to construct the meta tags, like all the types of the headers. Also, you can choose which position of the header, like second, header 3, or you can leave it automatic. Also, there is the keywords. There is a location element that you can set up from automation setup page. So location listed there will be used in the meta tags. you can easily add this, just a click and drag. And here is the original title that you have in your CMS system. Also, we have USIs, which are like keyword, but this is extension for the keywords. And we have a special element called XPath, which is able to target any element on your page, like first paragraph or some link. So anything on the pages on page could be targeted by this element. Yes. So now I can demonstrate you some well-structured page that is built with these rules. Let's say this one. So this title is constructed with a suitable keyword for this page. So also at the bottom, you can see that this page has 3 keywords associated, and one has more priority and more score. So the most relevant keyword is used at the beginning of the title, and it is best practice from us. Second part of the title is header 1. So we recommend you to have one H1, and it should be relevant, it should be meaningful, and it's important to build a good title and for SEO in general. And the ending of the sentence is the business name. So this is the usual good structure that we use for pages. Keyword, H1, and business name. For description, we use a second relevant keyword. And in this case, there is no relevant location, but there is relevant header 2, which is also some relevant text, not something unmeaningful. So we also need to take care of what is inside your website, inside the headers. And a rule says a lot of other elements, but because of the length, we used only keyword, header 2, and business name. So this is the case for the good page content, but sometimes and there is a lot of pages like without content, or with some lack of content, or with only links content. So we can search it, usually some category pages. I see here uncategorized page. So let's open it. So yeah, this page contains only the links to the articles, but there is no content itself, no any paragraphs, nothing. And we decided to not index actually this page because we don't need it. And for this, we can mark a page and mark it for no index. So this is one option, like to mark it for no index. And another option, try to optimize it based on what we have. For example, on these links. I can show you another example that is indexed with some articles. Okay, let's use this flag article. It's very the same, but we decided to index this page. And in order to generate some relevant description, title is looks normal, but for description we used XPath technique. You can edit the rule here by clicking on 3 dots. To optimize this kind of pages with lack of content, we can navigate the element. All browsers support this, and inspect the element, navigate it in the code, copy XPath, and XPath, this is what we have in the system, and then we just add this XPath element and paste XPath. So date, Actually, this already is taken from the first article title. So this is the way how to optimize, how to utilize XPath in complicated situations. But also usually this is not important pages, so you don't need to care much if you don't get how to use the XPath. Also, you can contact us anytime. Like good structured pages, optimize it in a straightforward manner. And I can show you how we utilize search intent. See some pages with search intent used. So this page constructed with a specific rule. It's different, and I think it's defined in settings under secondary rules. This is the special rules for URLs, like how can we have 65 pages like this, and we define a special rule. Let's review it. So all the rules usually started from the keyword. Also, you need to always use the keywords inside your titles and description, because without keywords, it's not like well promoted titles and descriptions. So keyword is a crucial part of the title. Then we have business name, location, and it's automatically detected Canada for this URL. And here is the USI in place. This is the intent of this keyword. Learn about SEO automation. And these search intents, they are generated automatically, and you can review them under Keyword Manage, User Search Intent Objective tab. Each keyword has short and long versions of the USIs, and you can use either a short one, either a long one. So we use the short one for title because there is not a lot of length available, but sometimes we are using the long one for description. So we have rules also that utilizes the long search intent. And I think that's it.
Okay, Dima, thank you. So basically, we're going to open the floor for Q&A. I apologize for the fast pace. We wanted the first part to be more informative, and now the second part, you can ask any questions you want. So there are, you can just raise your hand and we can enable you to speak and to ask your questions. That's fine. If not, then we can go through the list of questions that have been asked. So if anyone has more questions, just raise your hand. Okay. So let's just go through the questions that have been asked. Okay, so the first question, let me project 1 minute. The first question that I see that may interest most people is the page manage section. And I think that it's actually a very relevant topic because our system automatically classifies all the pages in a way that we show you the end page that is being served to search engines and users. This state is called canonical and optimized. Having said that, there's a lot of pages, there might be a lot of pages on the website that are either canonicalized, meaning they're duplicates or being marked as duplicates. Okay, sorry, yeah. Can you see my screen? I hope so. Yes, okay. So they're either being duplicates, redirects, error pages, and soon we will also have non-indexed pages. So you're able to see all of those pages and the reason behind them. So it gives you kind of a better view of the performance of your website, with which pages are actually being served and not, what kind of errors they have. This is very important. And the question that was asked is whether we are going to expand on this. And the answer is yes. We're going to give a lot of attention to this. For example, we just mentioned the non-indexing pages. The first phase, we will show the ones that we non-indexed. For example, we can go here and press non-index. So it's a very easy technique to go to pages that you don't want to index. Instead of going into the CMS, you can just press the non-index. Second phase, we will actually check which pages Google does not index. Everyone knows the feeling to go into Search Console and to try to figure out which pages were indexed by Google and which pages were not. So this is something that we will help you with by showing a little icon near those pages that are not indexed. I think we will be able to see it here somewhere. Yes, so we will show, yeah. Okay, 1 minute. So yeah, we don't have many on our website. We don't have many of these, but there will be a little icon here to show that the page is not being indexed. And often it's not, there's no problem with the content. And this is very frustrating, this thing, because you create good pages with potential, but it might be because Google algorithms decided that it's canonicalized. It's happening a lot after the latest March update. Google kind of unindexes a lot of pages, and you may not be aware of this, and you don't have a centralized place to take a look at these. So our system will be able to help you. Okay, so this is talking about this topic, and we're going to expand also on other arrow pages that might be visible to give you a more holistic view. Okay, so we have some questions from the crowd. Kevin, I'm going to allow you to join in and ask your questions. Go ahead, please. Let me know when you can speak. And I'm going actually to allow everyone. Yep. So, Kevin, you there?
I hear you.
Oh, there you go, Kevin. Go ahead.
Oh, there you are.
Yep.
One of the things I was wondering about was when I came into it and it asked for the keywords. Are those keywords that I want to rank for, or keywords that I'm already ranking for? What?
Yes.
There.
Yes. So the basic principle is that our system doesn't care what you give it. You can give any keyword. You just go to add keyword section, either directly to be optimized or to be evaluated. But our system eventually will not use these keywords unless they have good score. Good score has many, many different factors integrated into it. And one of them is content relevancy. So you can add many keywords, but at the end of the day, we will only integrate those keywords that have relevancy to your web page content. So this is why our system is effective, because Google will only accept keyword search terms that are relevant to page content.
And can that help if I see the keyword is not being used? Can I go in and create content to actually put that in to make it worth it?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. This is certainly a strategy. But having said that, sometimes keywords are also not being used for practical reasons, because pages may already have similar keywords attached to it. So we can't overload the keywords too much. So there is different reasons for that.
What is columns in this? The column says pages. What is that? Is that how many pages are using that keyword?
Here, yes. Yes, exactly. The term Nitro SEO, which is our brand, appears on 461 pages. So it just gives you an indication to the power of that word in the website. Yeah, so you can actually sort by this also. By the way, it's not necessarily only in the content. It might be pre-existing in the original tags, but it's the presence of that keyword in that page. So it's very useful information. These are the search engines, and this is the total score. We have another parameter that we call keyword focus. These are high volume keywords that you want to pay more attention to. When you mark a keyword as focus keyword, it gives it more power, more attention from our system, but you should not overuse this because otherwise it will diminish its value.
And when were you planning on adding you mentioned just a little bit ago about non-indexed pages. When are you planning on adding that?
Yes, there is two phases to that. The simple one is pages that we do not index. It's much easier for us to add filter for that. We just, like we have here, not monitored, we have non-indexed. The more complicated one is to locate the ones that Google does not index. That's going to take a little bit more to develop. It's much more complex. My estimate is a few months we will have that fun.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Kevin, thank you. Kimchi?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Lee. Can you? All right. So I'm not a tech savvy related to the keyword thing, right? Can you explain to me or people like me how does Nytro SEO? What's the role of Nytro SEO compared to Google search in terms of promoting my website so that other people can find me?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Actually, in the last seminar, we covered this topic, and the issue is the following. There is a very big mismatch between your content on your web pages and what you externalize to search engines. So the meta tags is what you externalize to search engines. You tell search engines with these tags here what your web page content is about. Because if you don't tell the search engine what your web page content is about, they will try to figure out what it is. Sometimes they will be successful, sometimes they will not be successful. But statistically, it shows a survey of 1 million websites done by Airfis shows that there is an 80% mismatch in your content and in your tags, which means that most websites, including yours, probably suffers from the same problem. And what our system does, it generates effective tags that are relevant to your web page content. For example, let's take this one, which obviously relates to our business, not to your business. But yes, we take the most relevant keyword for this page and we add it to the title. We take the second most relevant keywords for this page and we add it to the description. And eventually what the user sees in front of their eyes when they search for this term, they see an optimized search snippet view, which because it's structured in a good way, they can very quickly see what the topic of this page is about. And therefore, they would click more and they would not run away from this page because they were misled to think it's something else. So this is what we do. We cause search engines to accept the keyword search term that you want to rank for more frequently and with higher relevancy to this keyword does not have for this page. But this is what causes eventually these keywords to rank higher. I hope I managed to explain this somehow.
Okay, I want to follow up with your explanation. So what you are saying, or what I understood you are saying, is that this program, right? This program will give us suggestion on how to structure the title and update the keyword into the pages. So we ran the program from Nitro SEO, and it gave us a suggestion. and we're gonna copy that, let's say that phrase that you just showed, into our page content on our own website, so that the next time the Google search will say, hey, yeah, this page is number one. A lot of people searching it because it matched the requirement for SEO. Is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm just sharing. You probably were not on the previous webinar, but here you can see this mismatch of meta tags. And basically, we take those optimized meta tags, by the way, not manually. You mentioned that doing it manually. You don't need to do it manually because our system passes those tags automatically to your website. So if we go back into this part, all of the tags that are generated here, these tags, they're passed automatically to the relevant page. You see, this is a particular page, and we re-render that page with the optimized data automatically. So if we would go to this page here, and we will try to see the tags for this page, we can use some other tools. This is a very convenient one. So this is the tags, the title that we generated. This is the description we generated. These are the headers of the web page itself. But all of these is injected automatically into the page without you doing it manually.
Oh, is that the reason that we include something, there's a link that we put in our header, right?
Yes, exactly. This is the snippet. Yes, this is the snippet.
Yeah, the snippet. Yeah.
Yes.
I learned from Gina. I said, what is that? And how do I do that?
Exactly.
Oh.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely.
So our role here is that to choose the very good keyword first,
yes.
Right? And put into this program and then run it so that this program will run in background when Google search, when somebody search something, and then the Google search trigger say, hey, look at Kimchi's website. And then Kimchi's website will trigger SEO. Yeah,
it's not a trick.
SEO, blah, 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 right?
Yeah, but it's not a trick. You are entitled to, if you go to Google's best practices, let me show you. Google's best practices tells you that you as a website owner needs to do it. It's not, look here. These are Google Search Central official guidelines, very recent ones. And they're telling you as a website owner, and this is exactly what we do. We take these key best practices and we implement them automatically. Google tells you, use words that people would use to look for your content, which is basically keywords, and place them inside your title, descriptions, and other strategic places in your document. And then they're telling you, we will index this. And the metadata are part of that index. And the result is that eventually Google associates these keywords with each one of those pages as we shown before. And this is what causes eventually that increase in rankings. Hope it was clear enough. And Miguel, would you like to ask a question? Go ahead. I've enabled your talk. Yes, let's see.
I'm sorry.
Yes, Miguel,
Okay.
go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, well, my question is the following.
Yes.
Basically, I'm working with multilingual websites. So I use WPML, and I have a lot of languages within the web page. So let's say I do an automatic run for all these to pull up all the links that I have. Now, all the links that I have are going to be in different languages, right? It's going to be in a whole bunch of different languages. So how does Nytro interact when we have different languages in or how when we have different languages in a website, or what's the procedure to deal with?
Yes, it's actually
regular.
yes, it's actually we have two techniques to do it, and you need to take a decision on how you want to do it. Some websites simply have mixed content languages. It happens. You have one website with one domain.com, but on this website you may have data in different languages. In this case, then you add one website, and our system is capable to handle just dump in the keywords in different languages. According to their score, they will be used in the tags. So this is one option. There are some limitations in terms of looking at the entire website in a specific language, but it works. It works fine. This is one concept. The other concept, which probably is more suitable to you, because I'm not sure, are you generating some specific URLs with extensions like English at the end of the URL? Yes.
So it always happens. The application brings it up. For example,
yes.
I work in a translation agency. So we have, for example, translatorsecuador.com for the Spanish version. For the English version, it's the same, the URL plus a /en.
Exactly.
So on.
Yes. So our system can handle unlimited number of /en, /Germany, / any language you want. And we treat it as a separate website. So, so you will have here 10, 20, 30, 100 different URLs, each one with its extension, and then you will be able to treat this one totally in the language of that website.
Wonderful.
And basically, you would go into the automation setup for each one of those websites separately, and you will be able to add data specifically to that website or mini website in that language, and all the optimization data will be in that language. So really, you have no limitation to add any number of websites with an extension, and then to this particular website, you add only the keywords in that language, and then it does that automatically.
Wonderful.
Yes. Now there are some things that we need to continually measure, and that is the interpretation of the language is something that currently we use AI techniques, but I think on English they're working much better than on some other languages. But this is something that will be improving over time.
In any case, it'll do it much better than any human person, because it would be extraordinary work if we hired 17 different SEO people to localize our website.
Absolutely.
It wouldn't make any sense. Now, as far as the program, I was looking at Tier 3 on the AppZoomo deal, right?
Yes. Yes.
Would this allow for unlimited web pages URLs?
Let me just take a look. 1 minute.
It says unlimited reports per month, 5 users, unlimited projects.
Let me take a look. So Tier 3 allows you flexibility with keywords monitoring. It allows you flexibility with keywords promotion, but it's limited to 500 pages maximum per website. While Tier 4 gives you flexibility in all counts. So you need to make sure that it fits your, for example, if you don't have a website with more than 500 pages, then I think Tier 3 would be fine.
No, it's actually a small website. I mean, it's
so
probably like 30 or 40, but if you multiply that by 15 languages, that's how much I need.
Yeah. So yes. So I don't know. So the maximum capacity, so 3,000 divided by 50 is, for example, your number of websites in this case. So, but yeah, I mean, it's easy to calculate.
Okay, and just one last question, and this is with reference to. Let me see real quick here. Does the system, there's a certain there are certain parameters that have to be met, SEO standards. For example, on the meta title, right? The meta title should be, I think it's like 60 characters. If
Yes.
it goes over that, then it's too much. Does the system handle those amounts to make sure it makes a proper SEO?
Yeah. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. So part of the settings,
Okay.
you have the ability to define your lengths.
Okay, perfect.
However, I can tell you that our strategy, at least for now, is to allow slightly longer than 60.
Okay.
The reason being is that despite the fact that the search engine in the search snippet view might cut it at 60, they still read this data.
Yep.
And you might have valuable keywords in this data that you're not showing. However, we do need to have an efficient structure, meaning the keyword should be at the beginning to catch the attention. So if you're having a longer title, you should not have the meaningful term at the end. You should have it at the beginning and then the brand and etc. Yes,
Okay.
we also have capitalization options, which is quite interesting. The ability to capitalize the words, even if you enter them non-capitalized, you can override this and have beautiful tags just by changing the settings here. So yeah.
Nice. Perfect. And as far as, like, for example, I did some mistakes on my pages. For example, I used a lot of header ones. Now, according to SEO, you're only supposed to have one header one. So I have 8, 9.
Yeah.
Is this a manual fix that I have to do, or
Okay.
you think
Yeah,
the system might help?
Yeah. It's actually a very nice questions because we're dealing with this a lot lately. We see a lot of websites with incorrect or non-standard structure, either having too many H1s, you need to have one, or having no H1s, just H6. Sometimes you have exotic situations. Of course, they're not optimal. So the first thing is that in many cases, we can handle the current situation by creating the tags, by using these components with the tools that Dima presented before, by just selecting the ones we want to handle. However, from an SEO perspective, it still is not good to have conflicting messages to search engines. And part of our roadmap, which will be included in the AppSumo framework and architecture, is to be able to retag components on a page. For example, you will be able to tag the H1 you want and to turn the others into H2, H3, and H4. So it will improve the page clarity without needing you to go through all those pages and amend them. So this is a function that we will be introducing in addition to some other functionality that we think that might enhance. Of course, it's a roadmap. It's not immediate. For example, we will enable you to enter into the page template a placeholder to put keywords or to put short sentences or to put USI into the document itself. But then we need to be careful not to harm the structure. So it needs to be done very carefully.
With as far as images, I saw that was part of the pack also. All my images don't have what were they called? Image tag?
Yes. Those optimize those image alts. The way it does it is it will add the relevant keywords to the page. It will also add them to the image alts. Currently, we do not show that in a panel, but we will be adding a panel that will show all the images and the keywords that were added to them in some kind of a table. But it is optimized. We just don't show it. We don't display it in a panel now, which will be supported in the future. But we do add those keywords to those image alts to boost SERP rankings.
Is it safe to say that I can disconnect my Yoast SEO? That's the plan I had before, and install this new. I don't know if you've ever experienced that. Like maybe the customer is using another SEO tracking tool that maybe as soon as I disconnect, I might lose some functions. I know, like for example, I will lose redirects from my Yoast SEO because that's in there. I know that my other material won't be damaged, but as soon as I do that, or is there some sort of procedure before this, or
Okay. So I can answer this. It's very relevant, but there is a simple answer. Nitro SEO deals with the functions it deals with, which is meta tag optimization, whilst Yoast, Rank Math, and other plugins, Squarely, they provide you with a wider range of functionality, which we don't. So if they're doing any redirects for you, or schema or sitemap, I would not recommend for you to discard that because it's part of your website functionality. So definitely don't discard your redirects. It might be needed. Okay. As for the meta tag generation of all these plugins, again, I don't think you need to take any action. I mean, don't buy power. I mean, don't buy meta tag components from third-party plugins because it's not really needed when you use our system. Our system will read those tags that are generated in the CMS, regardless if they were generated by a plugin or if they were handwritten, and will analyze them. If they're good, they will use it. If they're not good, they will not use it. So I don't think you need to take any action in this respect with regards to the meta tags.
Yeah, mostly because of that. I wanted to see if there's some sort of conflict because, you know, when I go to, I did my website with Elementor, and then when I go to the back office of Elementor, on the bottom part, that's where you see Yoast SEO with
Yes.
a different meta description where I could where I would have to do manually all this work. Of course, I don't have the time to do all this work manually. So I was wondering, I was like, okay, this tool is great.
Okay.
But is the tool going to overwrite, or is it going to write from scratch, or what should I do with Yoast as?
Yeah, that's what's nice about this. So if you want to update the fields that Yoast provide you, you need to do it manually. We don't bother with that at all. We don't care what's written in those tags because we regenerate externally to the CMS. We generate all these tags optimized externally to the CMS, and then we render them. We call this data from our SaaS servers. When a user loads the page, we call this data from our SaaS server, and we render the code dynamically to the user and to the search engine. So we don't need to be inside the CMS, and this is why we don't care. Most plugins like this, they would allow you to add data manually, whether it's a keyword that you think is relevant to the page. They give you suggestions to enhance the web page content. Everything is fine, but it's not related to the tags, and they do not have an automated, a good automated resolution for the tags.
Excellent.
Okay.
The last question: should I do meta and SEO before indexing, or indexing and then meta SEO?
It's always better to run our system, to optimize the tags, to run our system at least once, and then go and resubmit your sitemap, because basically what it does, once you finish the optimization of the tags, you ask Google to recrawl your website, and they will recrawl it in an optimized manner. So this is the sequence. First, complete the processing and then resubmit website.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. So I think Ken, go ahead, Ken. Let me enable your talk. And yes, wonderful.
A couple questions.
Sure.
First one is, you were showing how some clusters of keywords with suboptimal scores you can turn them off from taking slots of your license, or on the other side, what if you wanted to optimize them. So what would be the best practices to take a cluster of unoptimized, I guess they're designated in red, keywords, and I take them to like a content creation platform like NeuronWriter, which is what I use, to create content to turn them from red to green.
No, very good question, and I'll try to show some practical ways. So I'll just isolate the ones that don't have a good rank, so we can just take a look at those, and let's say show me all the keywords with not so good promotional potential. So let's even do this just for make it more. Yeah. Okay. So I went to the filter can, and I just show me the ones that are kind of in the middle. Okay. And I'm just going to look at them. And you can see that their score, I've got 86. You can see that their score is not the best. It still has some relevancy, but it's not the best. So the strategy would be the following. So let's choose a term that, for example, SEO organic search. I think it's a nice term, probably with a lot of traffic. Maybe it's yes. Let's choose another one because I want. Let's choose maybe ranking. Yeah. Okay. So you see, we can say, for example, ranking monitor, SEMP ranking services. Okay. So we take this entire set, or the ones we want out of that, and we're going to focus on these ones because they all belong to this kind of topic ranking. And we will choose one of them that we would like to use as our primary one. And the way I usually do it, I can share it with you. Just go into, I will choose the one based on the volume simply. So I will copy this and go into Keyword Planner. Oops, Google Keyword Planner, yes. And I would say, oops, sorry. I would say get search volumes. Yeah. So, yeah. So you see, there's only 5 of them with good volume, and none of them are really high volume. But if you take this example, you can choose one of them as a primary keyword. Oh, this is 1 to 1K. Yes. So this is about 500. I think you can create content around 500. You choose one of these ones. This one is the primary one. You copy it into some kind of file, and then you instruct NeuronWriter to say, use this one as my primary keyword in this document that you're creating, and use 1, 2, 3, 4 as secondary keywords, and you instruct them to do it. I'm not a big expert in NeuronWriter, but I know that in other GPTs, you can instruct primary and secondary keywords. That's what we do. And then it will generate the article with this, with these keywords inside them. Is this what you were referring to?
Yes. Yes. Right now there's really good content management systems and writing systems, and then there's SEO oriented tools, and there's not a lot that connect the two together. And there's a lot of information here that with the proper GPT query could just create the outline, and you have your content kind of, pretty obvious what to do.
Yes. We actually managed to create very, very good content in this technique. We use ChatGPT prompts. There are some limitations to them in terms of the length, but they're pretty effective. And if you want offline, I can give you what the prompt that we're using.
Perfect. Yes.
Yes, you can have this prompt. I mean, it's freely available out there. We use our own technique, but it doesn't mean it's better than others. But again, it's something that goes alongside sorry, where are we? Yes, oops, yes. It goes alongside this concept that if you want to develop a topic, this would be the technique to develop it. By the way, it's not only for not performing keywords. You can also do the same for highly performing keywords that you want to increase their ranking, which is also a challenge sometimes. So, for example, if you have keywords here that are not on the first page, let's say this one, it's not on the first page, but we want to push it to the first page, you can do the same. Yeah, so you have two like this. Again, you will treat this as a primary one, this is a secondary one, and you can do this for the same for any topic. And once you will start to create more copy around this, even those that are not totally read, but you will increase the power of these ones also. And you can create different articles using this concept with the same keywords. So one article will talk about one thing, the other about another, but still using the same keywords, building authority around that topic. So this can be used in any category. Yeah,
that's awesome. So the other side to this is keyword cannibalization. So I just realized in Neuron Writer, there's a new feature that shows where you're cannibalizing your own keywords by having redundancy. So what techniques can be used with Nitro SEO to address that area?
Yes. So I have mixed feelings about this topic. I'm not sure that I agree with this keyword cannibalization concept. Let me explain what I mean. So when search engines look at a website, there are hundreds of thousands of pages on that website. And it's very possible that the search engine would, it's not just possible, it is the case, that the search engine would associate a keyword with different pages. It's very possible. And we measure this association here, you see. So you can choose a keyword. The keyword will be used across your website, but eventually it will be recognized by Google as relevant to a page. Once it's recognized as relevant to a page, especially if it's been accepted in the tags, I don't see any issue of cannibalization. I don't think that you should worry about this because our system automatically distributes and redistributes and changes positions according to search engines. So if a search engine will see it as it will drop it, it happens, by the way. Search engines do drop positions. Then we will readjust and we will change the position or remove this keyword from those tags if it's no longer relevant. So I would not worry at all about keyword cannibalization, at least from my perspective, unless I'm missing something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the last question, I remember in the prior seminar, you mentioned a number around 30 is typical for a website, 30 keywords to be optimized. What other factors come into play to determine that number?
Yes, it's not 30, it's 10 to 30%. So what do I mean by that?
Okay.
Yeah, so it needs to be proportional to the website size. So just as an analogy, if you have a website with 100 pages, then usually the optimal number of pages would be between 10 to 30. It can be also 60, meaning that you can go as far as even 60 to increase boosting, but it means you have a lot of variations. Usually what we do, we let the system run by itself. We don't tell it how many pages, how many keywords. We just throw everything at it and let it distribute it the most optimal way. And then we go back and we look at the keywords and the ones that don't have a good score or not being used, we remove them. See here, it says there isn't one page that this keyword is assigned to. That's because we took it from some kind of a keyword research tool. It proposed this keyword, but we don't really have content to support this. In fact, I can definitely remove this keyword here from the system. The system do its magic is quite an advantage, because otherwise you spend a lot of time to think through it, and it's just taking too much time.
That's perfect. I forgot I was asked one other question. Is there any way to use Nitro SEO to monitor competition to inform us how to optimize our sites, or what maybe we're missing some semantic keywords and topics?
Yes, so this is a very interesting theme. We are doing something in the background with competition, because we are measuring results of many websites in relation to yours, which could be considered competition because they're competing for the same terms that you have. So we do factor that into our algorithms and analysis, but we don't treat them as a competitor uniquely by showing you their rankings. If there is value in it, we can consider that. We haven't fully made the decisions on that, or we're not clear about what value it will bring and how it should be structured. So at the moment, we don't have a competitor's analysis per se, but it can be if we can see the value more clearly.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
You can. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. Glenn. Okay. And then we have Gant, and we have Sanjay. Yep. Okay. So Glenn, I'm turning speaker on. Let me know when you can speak. And then we have Gant.
You hear me?
Yes. Welcome.
Welcome. I'm a non-tech type person. I only have 15 pages on my website, so
Yes.
I'm brand new on this, and I'm signed up through AppSumo on a tier 1. And my question is, I thought that I had the ability with that platform or plan to do Google, Bing, and the Yahoo. I could determine which search engine I'm optimizing for, but I selected Google originally. But am I correct that I have access to all three?
You have access, but you can monitor one at a time. So you can, if you want, change to Yahoo or Bing. No problem.
How do I do that?
Yeah, it just from your dashboard, you have this ability to change your search engine to the different ones.
You show me where that is, please. I have not been able to find it.
Sure, no problem at all. See this section here? So I think on tier 1 you have only one, but you can just go here and change your search engine for that website, and that's it. And choose your extension.
Okay, so it's still under one website, but then I have access to all different engines.
Exactly. So yes. So your tier number 1 enables you to monitor one search engine at a time, but you can choose any search engine you want.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. This is awesome.
Of course. Cool. Okay, so we have Gant. Would you like, can you speak?
Yes.
Yes, hello there.
Hi. So I was trying to figure out, when you were saying that, like when it comes to the number of pages, what would be the optimal number of pages to be effective for the use of Nytro and going forward on a website in itself? Is there an optimal number? I understand the more pages, the better, but I was just curious if there was an optimal number.
So we have statistics of websites with 10 or less. I can tell you that we saw on some of these websites significant increases, but there is some kind of a cap to say you can't really get very competitive keywords to rank first page with a very small website unless you have amazing and unique content. So the answer is yes, you can rank with, let's say, websites of up to 10 pages, but at the same time, you are fighting against websites with much more enhanced content. So you need to figure out where you're positioning yourself, which keywords you target. But we have seen cases where, especially in less competitive markets or different countries, we did see some tremendous increases.
So basically, like, is it easy to say basically then the threshold would be 10 pages within one website would be kind of considered a smaller, so 10 and below is a smaller website, and then 10 and above is bigger?
Yes, 10 and below is a very small website. I would say 50 to 100 is kind of normal, reasonable, but to really get good traction, you need to go to the hundreds and to the thousands, depending on where you want to be, how competitive you want to be, how well your content is written, etc.
I guess it's kind of confusing because it's like if I look at a website and a similar industry of mine, then I'm not seeing, that many pages generally, like in the legal industry. In the legal industry, I'm seeing maybe 4 or 5 pages, not some 20 pages, but I'm not it's not like I've seen every single, legal website before.
Yes.
And so that's why it's kind of.
Yes, there are techniques to overcome this, and that to go regional. So the more regional you are in targeting your search users, then the more effective you will be. So, for example, if you're in Florida or in New York or in a certain region where you have some geography or regionality, you need to integrate that into your pages and into your keywords, and then it will become much more effective because you're competing less in a global sense. In a nationwide sense, you're competing more locally, and then you have less competition. It's very easy to do, by the way. It's just a change of strategy.
Okay. And so basically kind of focus on, because generally it's like I'm not targeting the world with the legal industry. It's just, a state. Actually it would be 2 states. So in that capacity, then it would be better to kind of at least include content like articles and things like that are focused on those different regions. Is that fair?
Absolutely. Yes, not just focus, it's very easy. You take the keyword that you want. For example, legal services in which state are you at? Remind me, please.
New York.
New York. So legal services in New York. Best legal services in New York, legal services, etc., and you just create a cluster of keywords around that topic, and then use the technique that I explained before to Ken to generate articles, content, services that actually has the word New York in them. Of course, yeah.
That was the part that I was curious about too, when it came to the keyword search that you said that you would use, or that with utilizing GPT. And so I think you said that you would have to do a meeting with Ken separately about that and the good keyword search.
No, it wasn't a separate meeting. It was no. I just proposed to him that we can send him this prompt that we're using. By the way, the prompt from the beginning, ChatGPT is a little bit odd. Sometimes it likes what you do, sometimes it doesn't. But if you train it enough, for us at least, if you train it enough on your account, then eventually it starts to produce good quality. And basically what I said to Ken is that I can share with him this prompt, and I can share with you or with anyone the prompt, the logic that we're using of how to generate these articles with a set of keywords, which has a primary keyword for the topic and secondary enhancing keywords for the same topic that are going to be considered supporting for this article. So
I'd appreciate if you could send that to me as well.
Of course.
That'd be great.
Sure.
My other question was when it came to the timing of it and utilizing and being so essentially say that we're like someone's website is fully optimal with utilizing all of these tools and the content is right, the headers and all of those things and the tags are right. Is there a foreseeable time frame for at least getting on a second page or something to that effect, or is that just all just going to be considered case by case basis?
Yes, there isn't any magic. You need to I mean, the process is the following. You add your website, you configure your tags, you add your keywords, the system starts to gather data, and it's very important data because without this data you may go the wrong way. So it collects data, it looks at the keyword, it starts to generate relevancy, it starts to generate a lot of data that will be useful for you. And then after you do that, you go and you take this technique that we mentioned a minute ago to look at the topic, identify the keywords that have some potential to be ranked, and to start generating content around those. So that's the idea. So yeah, and then it will start pushing another thing that I wanted to, whilst we're on this topic, in a minute we'll go to the next question, but if you're doing any backlinking, we also have some value for that. We can associate, for example, if you're targeting a keyword for certain backlinks, we can tell you which pages are the most relevant and which pages you should provide the backlink from that article. So this is also a very useful piece of information. For example, if we were looking at this, if you let's take something not on page 1, automate SEO for websites, it's page 13, position 13, meaning page 2, and we want to drive it to first page, then I would recommend pointing it to the pages that Google thinks are valuable. These ones, this one, this one, this one. And what will happen then is this is in combination with the backlink, it will start giving you more power. So it will drive it from second page to first page. So this is another technique. Today, what we noticed, a lot of backlinks that are pointing to the website have no intelligence. They don't know where they're linking to. There's no correlation between the link anchor text and the page they're pointing to. So this is very useful for that also. And you can export this for backlinking if you want it done. Yes.
Because I don't know how to do the backlinking on my end.
I know some people do.
So, yeah. So I'm like, is that something that could be incorporated in the future at some point?
No, we're not actually dealing with backlinks. It's something that I'm not handling. But you can provide this if you are looking for someone to do that work for you. Instead of letting them decide where to point, and in most cases they do not point to the right place, or they do not use the right anchor text. So this would be a good way for you to give them this information to use.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yep.
All right, and then I guess my last question, when it came to like the headers, I understand like you were saying before, when you were speaking before, that with the H1s, it's only to be one H1. For this website or for using Nytro, is there something where it should only be like, 3 H2s, one, like, is there any like a specific number in particular in that area as well with the rest of the headers, or no?
Yes, in fact, the primary rule is not to have 2 H1s. You should have only one H1 on a page. As for the other headers, you should just use logic. So it should be natural. So the topic, the headers should be natural. You can use multiple H4s; it's not a problem. Multiple H3s, it's not a problem, as long as it's natural, and it's fine like this. But keep some logical structure to the page that makes sense to a user, because Google does measure usability and does measure text that is not doesn't have the right proportion, or doesn't look good, or confuses the users. or create bouncing back from the page because users didn't like the page or were not able to understand the page. So just keep it understandable, visibly understandable. That's the rule of thumb.
Okay, got it. So that's not, it's just like the literal only rule is the H1 just needs to be 1 and everything else can just be, of course, subject to logic.
Yes, exactly.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Let's see, we have Sanjay and Sunny coming up. So I'm going to enable Sanjay first. Oh, sorry. Not to talk. And Sunny afterwards. And let's see if we have anyone else. No, so I think only two of you left now.
Do I go first?
Yes, go ahead. Yes, Sanjay, go ahead. You're welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know you guys walked with me the other day.
Oh, Sunny, 1 minute. Let's
Okay.
start, and afterwards you go ahead, Sanjay. Apologies.
I'm an artist, photographer, and my set of questions are going to be related to that. So I have not yet started entering the information in the Nytro website. I see that you have a place where I need to add keywords and phrases. Now, my website would typically have, as of now, it has about 10 pages and they're going to go increase with time. I have pages which deal with, for example, landscapes is one page, cloudscapes is one page, cityscapes. In cities, I may have New York is one page, Boston is one page, and so on. Now, when I need to put a general keywords, I might have words like artist, fine art, photography. These are general terms. Along with that, I also have keyword which would be specific to each page. For example, landscapes, cityscapes, and so on. So my question is, how do I add the keywords? Do I add all the keywords together? And how would your system know which keywords to use for which page? Number one. Secondly, we spoke about the primary keyword, secondary keyword, and so on. So does your system decide which one of them is the primary, secondary, so on? How does that go? So this is my first question. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So the answer is yes. The whole idea of using our system is that you don't need to do this work yourself. And there is a set of content, web pages, content on your website currently, and which will obviously grow over time. But each time the system is processed, it looks at your current amount of pages and your current data. And it will take any keyword that you will provide it, whether it's localized, regional, for example, landscaping in a certain city or artists in a certain city. It will take that and measure all the keywords in the system to find the most suitable one. And if you look at here, you see a score for the keyword, and it's basically the score, and you can see changes according to the page. So every page has got a dynamic score, and it will automatically decide which page it belongs to, and it will automatically place that keyword in that page without your involvement. And you see here, so it does that automatically based on relevancy, context, and other parameters and the score that you define for it. What I would say to you, though, is that if you have regional focusing, then you should add keywords with regional regions inside them, especially for a small website. So, for example, artists New York or services for artists in New York, assuming you have this on your page for New York. So you need to correlate the page that you focus on a certain city to the keywords that you're trying to target. It's very simple. Once you identify your keywords, you just go to the page, open it, add it to the H1. If possible, add it to the URL. URL has a lot of power, which in many cases people underestimate. We find URL relevancy to scoring is very high. And I would definitely put the primary keyword, also what Ken asked before, definitely it should appear clearly in the URL also. So yeah.
Thank you. Secondly, we spoke about alt tags.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, being an artist, my websites are having a lot of images of my artwork.
Yes.
And under each artwork, I have a caption.
Yes.
Now the caption may not always have a description, in the sense it may have a picture of a tree, but I may have a title which is different, it is an artistic expression of the title. So do you think it's a good, firstly, I'm assuming it would take the information from that description to put the alt tags. Is that correct?
The alt tags work in the following way. There are existing alt tags in images. Those might be or not be. So you may have already some alt text in those images. We do not delete your original ones. We add to the original ones. For example, if you have an image and part of the image description is happy family walking in the park, it's still there. From our perspective, it has no benefit for SEO. So the interpretation of the image does not help search engines rank you much better, because often there is no correlation to your business if you interpret the image. What we do, we add, you see here, a list of keywords that are relevant to this page. You see here, this is the page.
Yeah.
And so we choose from these keywords, keyword from this list that are relevant to the page, or these ones, we have quite a variety. We choose and we spread them across your images, across that page. And that gives you search power, because it's part of the association of the keywords with the image alts.
Okay. But my question was, let's say I have a specific image of, let's say, the Brooklyn Bridge. So it can only have a specific alt tag and cannot be a general alt tag. So if I have a caption which says Brooklyn Bridge at evening or night, would the system take it from that caption or not?
It does not remove that part. So I think what you need to understand is that you would have some text in the image alt.
I have not entered anything right now. So
if there's nothing there, we will only add the keywords there. So there will be, we will add the keywords to this empty alt tag, from the relevancy to the page content.
Okay, meaning it will not be a specific alt tag. It will not be.
It will be a specific alt tag to the page text. It will not be a description of the image itself. But
would it mention?
Remember that when you search, no, it will not mention Brooklyn Bridge, because it doesn't understand that it's Brooklyn Bridge.
Okay.
We don't do image interpretation. If it's important to you, there are a lot of plugins out there that can do this for you, good or not good. I do not know. And you can run it in parallel to our system, because if that plugin will generate description for the image, it's fine. It will be kept there. We will just add our more specific search terms to the one that they generated. So it's not our core competence to do this. There are many techniques to do it, and you can just run it in parallel.
Or else I can enter them manually. Whenever I upload the images, I can enter the tags manually.
Of course, but it's not always very effective if you have a lot of pages and a lot of images. So, but yes, you can.
Okay. All right. Thank you. My last question. The last question is, you also have a question where you enter what is your region, where you want to target to. Now, being an artist, my target is different. Like it can be US, it can be Europe, UK, and different countries.
Yes.
In this case, what do I enter there?
Okay, so it's a chicken and egg thing, Sanjay. You can enter only regions that you have support in your page content. So the fact that you will enter a city that you have no content related to you can add it, but it will not optimize for it. So there must be a correlation between those regions that you're targeting and your page content. So you can add everything, but it will only use the ones that actually appear on your page content.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Cool. Sunny, go ahead. Welcome.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Lee. How you guys doing? All right. I got two questions. The first one has to do with the search engine that you actually choose. My plan has about, I can choose 3 of them. I'm looking at your dashboard and you have you selected Google for all 3. Do we have to do that? Yes.
These one? No, these are search for different regions, for different countries. This is US, this is UK, and this is Germany. So
okay.
Yes, so you don't need to, if you're just US based, there's no need for this.
For 3 of those. Okay, great. My other questions, because I'm just, I think the last time you guys worked on, they were only able to enable a 6 keyword, which I actually went back today now. So we're going through this webinar when I had to do some enable so I can have about 60 keywords. So I'm looking at one, most of these calls are actually green, and the Google relevance, I have most of them 1. And I don't know, after the promoted icon, you have the keyword is now ranked for this page. Do I have to check those keyword manually?
You don't need to do anything manually. Okay. You can, if you want, just take a look. For example, you can take a look at the performance of this keyword and say you like it or you don't like it, just for your own information. Or you see here, this keyword was hit by algorithm changes and our system recovered it. It's quite interesting to take a look. There's nothing specific you need to do unless you want to move it from second page to first page, then you need to enhance your content a little bit more. So it kind of, you can also see that it's moving all the time. So I would let it still work.
Okay.
It's continually, look at this, it's continually progressing, even without adding content. We haven't added content to this. So it might just reach first page without any involvement. It might not. We don't know. But if it stays stagnated like this for a while, then you may think of adding more content.
All right. The other questions that I have has to do with the target locations. Because sometimes when I do Google Ads, I actually choose target cities and area that I wanted to target. Can I do that on the target location for the specific state? Because I'm local.
I'm not sure I understood the question.
Okay, let's say for example now. Okay, I'm looking at the state of Michigan. Okay, we have different cities that you can target. On the target location, is it a best idea to add those cities in that target location?
So the answer is absolutely yes, and you have 2 techniques to do it. One technique is when you have a lot of pages created in some kind of an automation, or you simply have a lot of pages, then we use the setup and we add those locations into the system. For example, all the Michigan state cities here. You can add as many as you want or variations of them. And the system, once you add them to the tags, let me show you. Settings. Yes. So we have a concept of a location in our meta tags here. So you can add the location. So you have keyword, for example, glazing services or landscaping services, Michigan. You just add this like this for those pages that you want to automate, and it will automatically create the structure of the tags with the location for those pages that this location has relevancy for. So if you created pages that have relevancy to those cities, it will use these tags. But if not, then it will not. So this is one technique. The other technique which is as good, is just to choose a keyword where you when you add New York into the keyword itself. These two techniques are possible, and they both work fine.
Okay.
This, by the way, is, I think, in some cases better, especially for small websites, because you can also track searches that are searched this way.
Relevance to keywords and your local business. If you have city-specific pages, and you really want to target these cities, obviously you've made pages dedicated towards them. When adding keywords to be monitored, would you also want to, obviously you want to do keywords that are associated with those cities that you're trying to target, but would you also want to include, long tail keywords that are relevant to your niche?
Yes, the answer is yes, yes, and yes to all of them. You always want to include longer tail keywords, because longer tail keywords statistically have a higher conversion rate, higher traffic generation that is targeted to your audience. So you want people arriving to your website that really want to find those services that you're offering. So statistically, keywords 5, 6, and 7 in length of words convert the best and have the highest money conversion. Although they have less traffic, but I think it's a better strategy. And as far as including the region inside your keywords, it's also a good tactics, because then you can monitor the specific keyword for the specific region as a unit. So both techniques are good.
Awesome. Yeah, I had another one, but I spaced. Cool. Well, thank you.
Okay, great. So let's just see where we're at. I think that we had an excellent webinar today, and I really thank everyone for participating. And we will be sending this presentation to everyone today, and I thank you. And if you have any other questions at any time, you can book a session with us, and we really appreciate you joining the call. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.